Hello friends, welcome to another Photoshop tutorial. If you're new here, please subscribe and join my channel, and if you're not new here, I really thank you for that. I really thank you that you're coming back and you're supporting me. It really means a lot. So today I have this really simple portrait that I took during the quarantine, and I'm going to show you how to transform it into something a bit more dramatic, contrasty and bright. So if you want to know how I achieved this look, please keep on watching. So this is a really simple portrait. It's a self-portrait that I shot during the quarantine, and you don't really need anything to achieve something like this. The source of light is window, and I found these flowers around my house, so nothing really complicated. It's really a simple portrait. And but I thought that I would like to take it to the next level because it's so simple and basic. So I thought that I would do some really dramatic editing on this picture, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. And the first thing you want to do is go to color lookup and choose Candlelight. Okay, I like to use this on luminosity blending mode and 50%. It really brings back the color and warmth to the picture, and I really like the subtle glow that it gives to the highlights. So that's why I use it a lot on my portrait, on my close-up portraits, and simple portraits that I want to really elevate. The next step I'm going to do is I go to Channel Mixer, and I click on the monochrome, and the red and greens are going to be 0, and the blue one is going to be on 100. And now select the blending mode and choose luminosity, and you have really dramatic change in your portrait. But what are we going to do is invert our layer mask, and I want the effect only to show where my freckles are, to emphasize them a little bit and bring back a little more texture to the face. I'm going with the flow of 10%. And you can see it's making the freckles more visible, but also it's bringing back some color, which we're going to fix later. And it's darkening, of course, it's darkening the picture. I'm going over eyes as well. And lips as well. And I'm going to lower the opacity to around 79%. It's okay. Now I'm going to black and white, and you can also use Channel Mixer for this again, but I really want the freckles to pop because it's something that's interesting in a photo, and if you have some interesting element, you want it to stand out in the picture, and that's what I want to do with the freckles. And I feel like the black and white is better for this because I can really separate the reds and the yellows better than with the Channel Mixer. So that's why I use this, but it's totally okay if you want to use a Channel Mixer again, it is possible. So I'm going to lower my reds and Okay, okay, this is better. So minus 37 on reds and 135 on yellows. And choose your blending mode again on luminosity. Let's invert the layer mask. And with the channel mixer, I painted like with a big brush all over the face where the freckles are. But now I really want to just make those little freckles to pop. So I'm going to make my brush smaller, and I'm just going to click, like I'm just dabbing all over the freckle. Okay, now I'm going to make my brush bigger and do just 2 simple like swabs to blend that a little bit. And I like when the lips are just a bit darker. Okay, and maybe a little swab here. All right, and don't forget eyes. Okay, so this is what we've done with the black and white. And this is what we've done so far. All right. Now that we have our freckles more visible, if you don't have freckles, that's okay. You can just make them in Photoshop, and or you can like paint them on with makeup. Everything is possible in this world, so don't be afraid to experiment. So now that we have our freckles much more visible and the picture is a lot more crispier, we have some side effects going on. And the first side effect is that it really darkened the picture. And the second one is that it's much more saturated. And I'm going to, for this particular problem, I'm going to use black and white. And I'm going to leave it just like that. Leave your blending mode on normal and just lower the opacity to around 10%. And what this is going to do is going to desaturate your picture in a most natural way, and it gives a skin a really nice color. So that's why I like to use this and not a hue and saturation layer. And the brightness and shadows problem I'm going to solve with curves. So brighten the picture just a bit, invert the layer mask, and paint with big brush on the side which is in the shadow. But don't forget that when you have like this type of picture that has the light source coming from the side, there's always going to be a shadow. So don't forget that. So because the picture may look unnatural and really flat. So just keep that in mind. It's okay to have a shadow on your face. Just make it softer. Okay, I'm going to highlight this eye as well because I want it to pop a little bit. And a little bit of highlight on the lips. Okay, that's much better, and it's really simple, nothing crazy. And now for the brightness, because I don't like how bright it is in this area. So I'm going to pull up the curves and just lower the curve a bit. Invert the mask. And paint with brush on this area. Okay, so this is what we've done. So it's just a little bit like this smoother, the light on the face. It's not that harsh. Okay. Now I'm going to use again color lookup, and I just like to use these. I mean, it's really fun, it's really quick, and it's so simple. I mean, really, with one click you can transform your picture, and the best thing is that you can play with blend modes, and it can really gives you these cool effects that you didn't know that you can do in Photoshop. So, and it's really simple again. So I'm going to use this Kodak 52182383, and it gives you this preset effect that's really warmth, nice, and contrasty, but I don't like the warmth of it, so I'm going to choose photo filter and choose this cooling filter. But now it's too blue, so that's where I'm going to lower the opacity to around 30%. Okay, that's better. For the last steps, I'm only going to use selective color, and I'm going to, for the first layer, I'm going to move reds and yellows because the skin is still too yellow and too warm for my taste. So I'm going to move cyans up to around 12% and yellow down to around 12%. You don't need like too much. It's always going to make a difference only if you move the slider just like on -1. And for the yellows, I'm going for +11 and yellow -11. Okay, that's much better. And the second selective color I'm going to use for highlights. So I'm going to select white, and I really like this cool effect that the yellows have, or the whites, I'm sorry, the whites have this blue tint to it. So that's why I'm going to choose cyan and go up to 30, 34, 35. That's great. So now you can see that there's just a hint of blue, and it's not that much, but it's still visible, and it's really giving us this cool effect. For the last step, I'm going to use Luminosity Masks, and if you don't know what they are, I'm going to link down below a video where you can find more about them and also download the exact same action that I'm using. So if you did all those steps, or you already have those because I've already talked about them, you can find your luminosity masks in your channels. So click on the channels, and for this picture I'm going to use this dark one. So click on the masks and then select selective color. I'm going to use neutrals, and I'm going to move my cyan up to 20%. Okay, magenta -2 and yellow +2. Now I'm going to lower the opacity to 50%. So what we did here is that we applied this selective color only to, or mainly to, our shadows, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to affect also your midtones and your highlights, but it's not going to affect them in the same way as the shadows. As I said, if you want to know more about them, I will link down the video. It's really great, and I really encourage you to use these luminosity masks. It's really helped me with my workflow, and I think it's really great way to color grade your pictures. So now I'm going to select all my layers and make them one group. So now we can see our before and our after. So this is how I color graded this picture, but the real key to this dramatic and contrasty bright look are the eyes. So this is the finished portrait with the eyes, and I didn't want it to include the steps for the eyes because I didn't want the video to be too long. So I'm going to show you how I achieved this look with the eyes in the next video. If you like this video, please leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe to my channel so I can make more videos for you guys. Have a nice day, evening, morning, whatever you have, and stay safe.